I love the Browns going into this season. This was a hot mess. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Browns were pathetic in week one. Baker Mayfield was pathetic in week one. The Cleveland Browns are the only team in the entire league that didn't score double digits. And yes, they were facing the Baltimore Ravens, who I think are the best team 1 through 53. But these numbers on your screen, they are grotesque. They are pathetic. Baker Mayfield completed half his passes. That can't happen when you're the number one overall pick in the draft a few years ago. Odell Beckham Jr. couldn't catch a cold. 10 targets, only 3 catches. Their chemistry is non-existent. And I don't think it's subject to hyperbole that Baker Mayfield is playing for his immediate and big picture future. Exaggeration? Stay with me on this. Baker Mayfield was not the pick of Kevin Stefanski. He was not the pick of the new head coach or the new general manager, Andrew Berry. Baker Mayfield, 3 seasons in the league, has not played well. 2 full seasons, 1 bad game. Short week, who do you trust tonight? Joe Burrow with 1 career start or Baker Mayfield? We all know the answer is Joe Burrow, and he's had a cup of coffee in the NFL. Kevin Stefanski doesn't have any allegiance to Baker Mayfield. Neither does the new GM. Kevin Stefanski actually had major success in the NFL with Case Keenum. John Demento Rolodex. When Case Keenum, who's the backup now in Cleveland, was playing under Kevin Stefanski for that one incredible year with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm telling you right now, and I love Cleveland going into the campaign. If Baker Mayfield doesn't get it done tonight, we're talking about hot seat time. Seriously, there is no long-term future for this season in terms of let's give him some time. If Baker doesn't play well, or when the Browns lose against Cincinnati, we're talking about losing to the rival Cincinnati Bengals. If Baker doesn't play well, if Cleveland loses, don't be surprised when Kevin Stefanski has to pull the plug on Baker Mayfield. Oh, by this player, Bill Belichick means the great Russell Wilson. And make no mistake, Russ is not underrated by the media, not underrated by the fans. Sometimes he might be underrated by his own team, which is why people say, let Russ cook. Don't run the ball. Air it out, like Pete Carroll brilliantly did against the Atlanta Falcons. And make no mistake, you see these numbers on your screen? Russ is going to cook and duplicate these numbers against Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick knows it. I expect him to throw for 4 more touchdowns. Belichick is obviously the best coach in the history of all sports, let alone the NFL. But look, that defense, undermanned. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not walking through that door in terms of the opponent for the New England Patriots this week. Russ is going to cook. And trust me, Bill Belichick, nobody will underrate him after he absolutely smokes your Patriots on Sunday night. Needless to say, Carson Wentz is 100% right. Aaron Donald is a flat-out monster. Just changed the Defensive Player of the Year award to the Aaron Donald Award. 4 quarterback hits of Dak Prescott, which is basically the norm. Now, Lane Johnson's expected to play, and Miles Sanders is expected to play, and that's great news for Carson Wentz, but that offensive line is still an absolute mess, and Aaron Donald is still an absolute superstar. I mean, he is arguably the best defensive tackle to ever play in the history of the game. The O-line was dreadful for Philly in their first game. Carson Wentz takes a hit, too. Did a terrible job. You see it right there in terms of holding the ball a little bit too long. I think this is a brutal matchup for the offensive line for Carson Wentz, and he is right. Aaron Donald is an absolute monster. Ezekiel Elliotts talked to the news media about playing in front of 0 fans. Oh, Ezekiel Elliott, needless to say, he is going to be creating his own juice. I love that. For the Dallas Cowboys home opener against the Atlanta Falcons. And let me tell you something. Zeke and the boys going to be ready to roll on Sunday. Zeke looked great against L.A., and I think Dak Prescott is going to have a monster game after he was stuck in the mud. Listen, this Falcons defense is dreadful. It's going to be a Zeke game. It's going to be a Dak game. It's going to be a CeeDee Lamb game. It's going to be a Gallup game. It's going to be a Amari Cooper game. It's going to be a Mike McCarthy game. Juice for everyone when you're going up against the Atlanta Falcons on defense. Make no mistake, Ben Roethlisberger is going to dominate the Denver Broncos this week on CBS. Denver coming off of that grotesque loss. When you see what transpired against Tennessee, Vic Fangio backtracks on the game management take. Oh, Ben is going to light up that defense. Johnson and Smith-Schuster are going to have big games. Ben is back. When he's talking that he's not 100%, oh, you know Roethlisberger is back to being Ben Roethlisberger. How about Christopher Johnson saying that Adam Gase is brilliant? I mean, if you're a Jets fan, you just have to throw your hands up. Brilliant? Have you watched the games, Chris? Christopher Johnson talking to the credentialed news media yesterday, and this is one of those when you see it in print, you have to kind of wonder what the hell the owner's talking about, because sometimes stats lie. These stats, they don't lie. These are the nuggets of utility. I love Sam Darnold, and there's zero talent around him. The offensive line, the receivers, they're still hurting from Mike McCagnon setting the franchise back for years. But this is why I argue they should have hired Mike McCarthy. This is why they should have never hired Mike McCagnon in the first place. And this is why I believe Adam Gase will be fired in season when the Jets starts 0-8.